Yeah, we need to understand that agriculture is sort of part of the larger system. And I think the problem in the past is why we tried to isolate it. We had to isolate the farmer as the poor person out there, isolating maybe the field or the crop. And I think we realize more and more that agriculture is very much integrated into society, into the environment, and also into the economy. And so we need to make sure that we understand what are the connections in that system, where are the leverage points, where are the blockage points, and where are the leverage points to make sure that we can change the agricultural paradigm as it was called for in the IAASTD report. Or at different levels. Obviously, we have basically the farmer-scientist communication. So that's the one level. And then I think we need to make sure that what the farmer needs, so in terms of research, in extension, inputs, agricultural inputs, this is very much dependent also on policies at the national or regional level. So then we need some more communication, cooperation also at that level. And then higher up, again, on the global scale, I think we need to make sure that each country can actually decide what they want in terms of agricultural policy, which way they want to go, and be helped by the international community, not basically hampered by the international community. So here I think we have to work on different levels with different people, different modes of communication also. This is easy said that we need to do that. I'm saying that we need to internalize the externalities. How this is being done? Well, first of all, it's going to need a lot of political courage, because we need to change really the food system to make sure that the people start to pay the true value of food in the north, in the south, wherever they are, and that they have the means, income means, to actually cover those costs. Today, everything is sort of biased because via taxes, everywhere in the world, people actually pay for those externalities. They start to pay more and more for healthcare, which basically is also based to bad food or cheap food in particular, and that again needs to be rearranged. Now, the political courage to do this is lacking, I think, but we will not get around it in the near future, because we cannot continue basically to have a food system where cheap food, although it's good for the poor, continues to cost the environment a huge amount of money and also bet on biodiversity, for example. It costs the economies on a global scale. And I think that we need to rectify this. And therefore, a lot of work is being done actually right now in the area of research, in economics. How can we rearrange that part of agriculture? Because if you rearrange sort of the economics of it, which is really sort of the economics I'm talking about here, I think a lot of the issues in the biological side will also be taken care of, because agriculture will automatically then become more environmentally friendly. And that's what we are trying to achieve by having the true cost included, which means that the large production with heavy inputs, subsidized inputs, will basically go away, because who wants to buy that? That will be because it will be very expensive. Whereas the food which is produced in a environmentally friendly manner already includes those costs, and it will not go up as much as the other one. So I think we can re-equilibrate all this with some good policies on food pricing. I think we need to make sure that the farmers are paid sort of an average for an equivalent work in some other sector. So that's the one thing. Even in my own country, I think they try to do that, sort of level out sort of the income, basically sort of have a middle income for farmers. Now, if that cannot be achieved through selling the food, and that's going to be very difficult because food prices will have to go up, and also because of international competition, I think farmers, it is correct that they need to be helped. They can be helped in very different ways. So one of them is just equalization of salary. So, okay, you have a farm of so many hectares, so many cows, your sale is so much. The difference to the average salary in that country will be paid by the government. That's basically what's happening in Switzerland, for example. But you can also do it maybe different ways by giving more incentives. So the farmers who take care of the environment are paid a special premium if they use less fertilizer, if they have more diversity, for example, on their farm. So you can find different ways of compensating the farmer, but they have to be compensated for the good stuff. So basically give them rewards for positive externalities. So the more positively they work, the more rewards they get. And I think that's one way of, first of all, guaranteeing that they have an income, and second, also guaranteeing that they do it right. So according to what we know today about agriculture being a solution to climate change, to social issues, for example. It is not only feasible, it has to be done, because I don't think that if we don't do that, agriculture is going to just wither away, and of the small-scale agriculture, and leave the space for very large operations, which will actually cost more and more because of the inputs will going up. And then we're going to have other social problems, because then you're going to have even more jobless people, more people on the move. So eventually, I think the system will actually crash. So I think we better do now and start to do what we know would be one solution in the right direction, rather than to sort of continue sort of the old trend, because we managed so far, maybe it's not so bad. Yeah, actually, we're going into the totally wrong direction.